Big Red Junkies.
Day by day, he gets better and better. He gets better and better. Oh, man, woman, and child, he just turned this stadium inside out.
Fuck. God. We were all there for the game. It was a great fucking time.
It was.
I know that you were around Nebraska fans, but we were dead smack dab in the middle of a bunch of super loyal, long-time season ticket holders.
Some of us more than others.
Some of us more than others. And some of them wanted us more than others.
It was a good time.
There were a couple, as Danny put them, cougars.
Yeah, except for they were like younger than Danny.
They were very much in the same boat as Miss Sugar Walls. Whoever you are, we love you. We love the comments. Matt loves you. Come forward at some point and we'll get you guys set up on a date or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe we'll do it like an auction. If those two gals from the Minnesota game were involved, it'd be a high bid.
We're gonna talk about the game.
It'll go to your favorite charity.
Oh man, it was funny. But yeah, fuck. Yeah, it was a tough one to lose.
It's a tough pill to swallow because of what we've all experienced for many years, but I don't put what we've experienced for many years on this. So
no. Also, the overreaction has been tremendous.
Yeah,
You more than anyone else were like, I'm not going to overreact to this. I'm not going to overreact to this season. You've talked about that a lot. I know we were all super bummed and we were all super drunk. So we were being as emotional as possible after that game. That was the longest 15-minute train ride back to the hotel that I've ever taken.
Yeah, it was tough walking through all of that, but
especially when Matt made us get off the train to stop. Danny and I weren't paying any attention at all. All of a sudden, Matt's like, I was looking at my phone. I was actually angry texting. I was looking at my phone. All of a sudden, Matt's like, hey, man, come on. Go. This is our stop. We got to go.
So here's the thing about not paying attention at all to where you are, where you're staying. You don't exactly know when you're supposed to get off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just saw the first one that I recognized. So that's probably it.
And apparently because...
But he didn't go, this is probably it. He went, oh, shit, we got to go.
Well, I didn't want us to miss it.
And apparently because he wasn't paying attention at all, it's still all your fault.
Well, I was pretty convincing.
The best part was, though, that we were like 7 blocks away from the hotel, and he's just like, we can walk it. I'm like, no, we can't. I'll literally wait the 8 more minutes for the next train to come, and you won't beat me there.
It was fine.
But you're still alive.
We saw Stacy on the train finally.
Yeah.
We never saw her.
I didn't even know she was there.
I saw her and her brother at Sally's Saloon to meet up with my cousin who was up there for a bachelor party, and Stacy met us there.
Oh, wow. As you can tell, probably we all have, well, at least me and Jed for sure still have some residual throat effect from screaming too loud. I know Danny, we saw him this morning, and he still sounded almost bad as you do.
Yeah, every time I cough,
I couldn't yell and scream. I was literally sitting by myself, surrounded by Minnesota fans.
Yeah.
Now, I want to shout out to them. They were all super freaking nice. The only fan that I had an altercation with the entire time I was there was wearing a Michigan shirt. So, fuck that guy.
Of course, fuck Michigan.
Danny and I were sitting 3 rows back from right where Matt was, and the only problem we had with anybody around us was the one Nebraska fan that was close to us.
Yeah.
He was wearing like a knockoff starter jersey from like 2003, and Danny was asking him, Danny wasn't paying attention to football in 2003. We were in middle school, and he didn't like football at the time. And he asked him, he goes, hey, man, is Taylor your name? Is that a custom jersey? Like, he's just trying to be nice. We're all drunk. And the guy turns around and goes, you guys aren't even fucking real Husker fans, are you? Cool. Okay, bud.
Yeah. I always love that. You're not a real fan. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Who designated you the boss?
There were so many giant Zach Taylor fans when he was here.
Yeah, whatever.
No, outside of those two, the crowd was a very fun crowd to be in.
It was
awesome.
If anybody was a dick to me, I don't remember it. So,
there you go.
To me, it was all good. I mean, there was a handful of pictures when I was scrolling through to see the pictures that I took or pictures that people sent to me. And I'm like, oh, don't remember that one. Don't remember that one at all. Well, don't remember that one.
When we were at Lions sitting out on the patio, we were at Lions for, I got down there late.
We were down there for a long time. You, Captain Sleeps a Lot, was Took you
But
forever to
even
get down
so, I mean,
Even so, I
Yeah,
was still down there for a
like
solid
8 hours.
I put in a 4.5 hour shift before we went to the game.
there.
Yeah.
I know.
It was a long day of drinking. I mean,
Was smoking cigars with Ryan at 10:30.
Yeah.
yeah. No, it was a great time. Lions Pub was awesome. They had the Go Big Red cast and
Yep.
Block No Rock were doing a joint live thing. They had a bunch of it's kind of a who's who of Nebraska media running through that place. Sean Callahan stopped by and
Yep.
did you figure out what that guy's name was with the long hair?
From Coronation. I don't
Yeah,
remember the fuck everything.
Fuck
Go
every-
Big Red. Yeah.
Go Big Red.
I love that guy.
Great picture of him. We need to get posted still. But yeah,
Who has that picture?
I do.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic. It's a great
I
picture.
knew that I took a picture with him, but I couldn't. It wasn't on my phone, so I was like, I don't know where that picture's at.
Somewhere out
The best part was when you first walked past, he was acting like you were in the middle of taking pictures with other people. He acted like, "Oh, we're gonna take a picture. Like I recognize you, you recognize me," and you were like, "Oh yeah, cool man, see you later."
It didn't register in my head.
And then like 5 minutes later, you see him standing down there. You're like, "Hey, we should go take a picture with." Him.
Well, no, because the first thing maybe that wasn't the first thing I said to him, but first thing I remember saying to him was, "Hey, you're the fuck everything, go big red guy," and he goes, "Yeah, I'm
Yep.
never gonna live that down."
And that was at Minnesota.
Yeah.
So, no, man, I thought there was a lot of things we could say of positives about this game. Obviously, it ended the same freaking way that we've been watching one-score games end for the last decade, it seems like. It's wildly frustrating, but it almost felt inevitable. It's kind of like what we talked about with the end of the Iowa game last year, where all of a sudden it became a 14-point game, and we were like, "Here we go."
I disagree, but
Yeah,
Dude,
you sound dumb.
The moment Anthony Grant dropped that fumble with like 4 minutes left, I was like, "Yep, this is it. This is it." We were still up by 3 at that point.
I did not say that
Or up, we're still up by
Maybe
4
at that point it felt inevitable.
until they got the extra couple of yards to make the field goal easier for him. That was the only time I turned to Ryan and I said, "Yeah, they're gonna make it."
Yeah.
I other than that, I don't know if I can't really say that I believed or I didn't have that doom and gloom thought in my head.
It definitely didn't feel that uncomfortable. But that, like you said, once that fumble happened, it felt incredibly familiar.
It did.
Absolutely, it did.
I don't understand.
So you don't think everybody should be fired already?
No. Fuck no.
And anybody saying,
Hey,
that,
look,
fuck
Oh
off.
God,
The only
I've heard
thing
it way too many times.
the only thing that I will truly say is there was some questionable play calling on the offensive side of things that I would say Satterfield is also testing some things out.
Yes,
He's trying something like you can't. The biggest thing that I think from a coaching perspective that I didn't understand is how Grant got more carries than Gabe Irvin. That was the only thing that didn't make any sense to me. Yes, they were both having a struggle, and you can't really look at the average yards per carry for either one of them and say it was an indicator for anything because Grant was basically an average of 3 yards, and every run was 3 yards. He got stopped up, I think, once or twice behind the line or at the line. When you look at Gabe Irvin, he was at the line or behind the line minus one 35-yard run or 27-yard run, whatever it was.
yeah.
So it wasn't like he was light because I think his average per carry was like 7 or 9.
7.9.
Overall,
But it was also helped out by the one.
Yeah.
It was one
27
big
yard, yeah.
because he didn't have. I mean, he had what? He had a total of 55 yards. His longest was 27. So and Anthony
6 carries for 28 yards outside that one run.
Yep.
Yeah. It's. I mean, that's
He
not
wasn't lighting
great.
the field on fire.
We weren't getting big holes. I think honestly, I have to give props. Ben Hart looked way better. I don't know way better because he was looking better at the end of last year, but he actually played a pretty good game. I thought our offensive line altogether, the right side was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the edges. I know most of the runs were off of Sims running the ball around, but we ran really well off both sides, both edges. I guess I'm just speaking of the edges. I had it the edge rushing. On the left side, we were nine carries, 61 yards. On the right side, we were 6 carries for 55 yards. I mean, that's the big bulk of all of our runs.
That's fair.
Where we were running the ball well off the edge.
That's fair. I will say that the one big run, the one that busted off from Gabe Irvin for 27, that was due to what's his name? The German.
The tight end?
No.
Oh, Newelly.
Our right
Newelly.
guard.
Okay,
Whoever's playing right guard.
Newelly.
He pulled, and that was the big block that let Gabe Irvin break.
Okay.
That's what that was from. I actually was going to say the only offensive lineman that I will call out and that played terribly, and I'm saying terribly, was Corcoran. He was awful at left tackle. He should not be out there. He didn't look like he could even get back to pass protect at all. And then any of the run stuff, it looked sloppy at best. I rewatched the game. I rewatched for a third time, basically specifically watching the offensive line. I was skipping all of our defensive stuff. And I just kept coming back to him. He was responsible for at least 2 of our 3 sacks. Solely responsible. On the opposite side of things, though, like I said, I got to give props to Ben Hart. And on the defensive side of the ball, 4 dudes that none of us were talking about. First of all, Hutmacher, holy shit.
Mhm.
Holy shit. That dude looks like a real dude. By the end of the game, they were double teaming him on almost every play. And he was still able, that interception that,
Omar Brown.
Omar Brown, yeah, that he had in the fourth quarter, you see Hutmacher throw his hand up right as that ball is going to get released, and he's right in that line of sight, and that had to have a lot to do with the fact that ball was so poorly
that was in the
delivered.
third quarter, but
Third quarter, sorry.
yeah, you're right.
It was, he played balls to the wall.
He did.
That was awesome.
Omar Brown played great. Speaking of guys that we didn't really bring up,
Yeah.
Omar Brown,
Omar Brown, holy crap.
all over the place.
And Deshaun Singleton. Makes sense that he got the black shirt, and I was like, that was the one guy that I'm like, who the fuck is that? I don't remember him at all.
But they'd been talking about him all off
True.
camp, but
the other guy I was going to say was Blaze Gunnarsson. Man, he had a fucking great game,
he
too. Him and Hutmacher, those guys were absolutely tearing up the D-line. I didn't think our D-line looked weak at all, and that's against one of the best offensive lines we're going to face this year.
I'm not going to say it's one of the best. We literally, going into that game, we're talking about how they have to replace 3 offensive linemen. They have only 49 starts returning. I'm not going to say that Minnesota is one of the best offensive lines that we're going to play all year.
Best 4 or 5, maybe?
I mean, I guess
just when you look at tradition at Minnesota.
Tradition, yes, but we also, only allowed them to run the ball for 55 yards.
That's fair.
So, I mean, and traditionally, if you want to talk Minnesota, they should not have thrown the ball 44 times. That's like 4 games from Minnesota typically.
You know what, though? They talked about, I think we touched on this a little bit, is the fact that Minnesota, PJ Fleck, in his time there, they have really done a good job of molding their offense to really focus on where their strengths are.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And their wide receiver core is stronger than their running game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look back to what's his name, Mo Ibrahim,
yeah.
If you look back to before him, they were a pass heavy offense because their wide receivers were better.
Off and on. I mean, they did have a handful of times where they had like 2 or 3 really good running backs that ended up making it into the league. But, they were kind of up and down, but they also just weren't very good. So it's...
Yeah. I don't know. I was reasonably shocked, and I will tell you what, I actually thought he was pretty good.
Who? Calic Manis?
Calic Manis, yeah.
Well, and again,
he played really well.
Their game plan was perfect. Just get the ball out of his hands as fast as possible.
Yep.
I was talking to my dad this morning, and he was bitching and moaning about the defensive line not getting any pressure on the quarterback. And it's like, okay, yeah, they weren't getting home to the quarterback.
First half, I agree with him.
But when he's getting the ball out of his hands so quickly, it's kind of hard to get to the quarterback. I mean, I'm not going to really put a whole lot of, overarching thought process on our
back there with a lot of time. No. Anytime he held the ball for a while and got a guy open downfield, it was because he was scrambling. He was way outside of the box. This was not him sitting back there waiting for 3 or 4 or 5 seconds to throw a ball.
No.
There was legitimate pressure. It was coming straight up the middle. It was coming off the sides. Anytime you see a nose tackle that's getting a sack in a game, it was a legit sack too. That was not any BS. Sometimes you see those happen to center falls down or something like that. No, this was a real deal, and we got to the quarterback 3 times in the second half.
Yeah, they threw the ball 13 times past 10 yards downfield out of 44. So I mean, like they were just quick, slam,
they had to be
whatever. I mean they
weren't terribly effective. Obviously,
they had a good game plan against us. Whether that is the game plan against the 3-3-5 or whatever else. But you were singling out a couple of guys on defense. Honestly, I had a hard time singling out anybody on defense to prop them up because I thought the defense played really well.
I did too.
mean, just as
All
a
around.
group.
The biggest thing for me, the only negative I can really say is you didn't get a stop when we needed you to get a stop at the end of the game. All we needed you to do was hold them outside of field goal range.
Yeah.
Hey, let us get to overtime.
Yes and no. I think if you hold a team to 13 points ever, you can't blame the defense for that.
No.
And look at what they have, 251 yards total offense?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
No, the defense did exactly what we were all kind of hoping it would. It seemed to confuse the shit out of Minnesota.
It did.
I mean, and the other thing is
they could never get their offense really going.
The amount of players that they played.
Oh,
they were rotating guys in and out.
We got a lot of youth experience in that game.
I think the number was like 17 guys had double-digit snaps, and like 14 of them had 20 or more snaps.
One of the other major things that I noticed about the defense was, and I think I said this to you, and I came down sometime early fourth quarter, late third quarter, somewhere in there. It was right after like back-to-back series where we had gotten to the quarterback. I came down and I said, this is starting to look like old school Nebraska football where we're wearing them down late in the game. Because they did. Their offensive line was getting very porous as that game drug on. And he was instantly, if you started watching late in the game, every snap was a rollout. Every snap was a roll. He had to get out from the middle real fucking fast. And that looked super encouraging. But then the majority of the balls that they threw downfield, I don't know how many completions. You said they had 13 past 10. How many completions were past 10? Couldn't have been more than 3 or 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, okay.
So they were 4 or 13.
Yeah, and, well, I mean, he was only, 24, 44? Didn't have a great game throwing the ball. A lot of that had to do with our DBs. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Those guys, it didn't matter who it was. There were multiple times you saw a ball come down, and it was a well-thrown ball. But out of nowhere, it seems, I don't know if it's the technique they're teaching, and they can teach it this way because of the immense amount of speed we have back there right now. But those dudes all looked like they were putting, like, Sonic the Hedgehog shoes on when a ball was in the air. They were sagging off of a guy, letting him almost look like he's getting open and getting separation, and then that ball got in the air, and they would be in front of them all of a sudden. It happened 2 different times on plays in front of us that I thought were going to be touchdowns.
Well, and I would say it was the speed. Again, I'm going to go with just the entire defense. The tackling was really good for Nebraska. The mob mentality of the defense when one guy had somebody wrapped up, the amount of guys that quickly, the speed that these guys had to get
to close
and help out on the tackles. I was impressed.
How many times did you see a guy go one-on-one in a tackle and completely overshoot his guy? Like we've talked about and complained about for the last at least 5 years, if not 10 years.
Well, and you talk about the tradition of Minnesota offense. They're tough. They're physical. They're right at you. Whether they're running or pass, they're still going to be a physical football team. We had 6 missed tackles the entire game.
Yeah. The point I was getting to there was the over tracking somebody was not happening.
Yeah.
The tackling above anything else was the biggest improvement I saw over last season to this season.
Yep.
That and speed. Holy crap, the speed.
Yeah.
Even from our big guys. You haven't hardly talked. Come on, man.
I'm just saying everything that I want to say. I don't want to interrupt.
He's just sitting there going, yep.
I can't agree more. But I see at no point in this game where you can blame. They had 250 yards total.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time we held a Power 5 school that wasn't absolutely atrocious at 250 yards? Or 13 points for that matter.
Yeah, that's kind
of when we were going to halftime and they had 3 points on the board, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm so I realized Minnesota and the guys sitting around us, they were kind of standoffish for the first quarter, and then we got them some beers and we were like the liquor was starting to go. It was flowing. And we were having
it was there.
We were having a great freaking we actually calculated between me, Danny, and Matt, we went through 28 tall boys.
Jeez.
During the game. And they don't sell booze in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
And that was after we'd already been drinking for 4.5 hours. No wonder we went back to the hotel and went right to bed.
That's the benefit of drinking what I drink because no stadium has what I like. So I just don't drink in the games.
And as you all might notice, none of us are drinking tonight. That Jack bottle's on the table, but none of us are drinking tonight.
That's a prop tonight.
I have to hydrate from last week and prep myself for next week.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're headed to Colorado.
I am.
Yes. No, I don't really have anything else to say about this game other than special teams.
I was going to say, what about offensively? We've been talking about the defense and stuff like that. I mean, if we're going to go negative, that's where it is.
Hey, I'll say it this way. Jeff Sims looks like a very unpolished product. My assessment of his game was he's slow on the accelerator, but once he gets up to top speed, he's quick.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be feather light when it comes to getting touched. I described him in the preview show as being, maybe a Cam Newton type. He's got the body, he's got the size, he's got the build. He goes down really freaking quick. He got shoelace tackled like 3 different times in this game that it looked like he barely got tapped on the back of the heel, and it was like, come on, man, how is that taking you to the ground? But on the other hand, I know that's some of how they're teaching some of those running quarterbacks now. Hey, you get anything on you, go down. Do not get crushed. Do not fight for the extra yards. Don't get crushed. I think he played like a champion because a lot of what he was working with a lot of what he was working with wasn't working.
No.
I have no idea why we couldn't get a single wide receiver open. It seemed like the whole game.
Dude, where was Billy?
Exactly.
I don't even think he had a catch, did he?
No, he did not have
a catch. He was a non-factor on offense.
I didn't even see him get thrown to.
I think he got thrown to twice.
And I don't think anybody knew IGC wasn't going to play the first half.
No, it was
apparently he was suspended.
Marcus Washington was
suspended. No, IGC was suspended the first half.
It's Marcus Washington that was suspended for the first half.
Then why did Rule say that he was suspended for the first half?
He said Marcus Washington was suspended for the first half.
No, he said IGC was. He did. I promise I just watched it right before we came down here.
Regardless, the offense as a whole, as comfortable and good as the defense looked, the offense looked equally uncomfortable.
Yes.
They didn't seem like they wanted to be out there.
And Fedoni didn't get thrown to one time?
No. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand that. Great catch by Borkature, though. Holy shit, that one-handed grab he pulled in. That was cool.
That was awesome.
That was cool, and it saved that drive.
There were a couple flashes that made the offense look like if they would just actually feel okay out there, they could be doing a lot more.
Yeah. Jeff also looks very natural, but he also looks
minimal.
Very unpolished.
We didn't really run any flashy plays out there either.
No. The Osborne play that he threw out, which I think it's cool to tip the cap to Osborne. It's one of those, like, were you just going to call the first play that worked really well in this game the Osborne play? Is that what's going to happen? I know he explained it as Osborne, like, trick plays or whatever, but that play specifically kind of shows you that naturally gifted ability that Jeff Sims has, because the ball that was thrown to him was terrible, and then it bounced off his hand, and it looked so natural that the ball just bounced right back perfectly up to him, and he was able to grab it and kind of, give him the side fadeaway throw to the end zone. But
I kind of going back to, and I guess you did talk about this a little bit when the whole Gabe Ervin, Anthony Grant stuff. And actually on the way over here, I was listening to some of the Damon Benning show from Friday morning, and Damon said, personally, he liked seeing Grant out there as far as specifically at the end, which I know that's a big constant, conversation as far as if this guy has fumbling issues, why is he out there at the end? Why are you trusting him with that situation? And I can't disagree with that thought process, but Damon said he was okay with having Anthony Grant out there. He liked having him out there. He thought that Grant was running better than Gabe Ervin, but he also said that Gabe Ervin is more of a rhythm running back, where you need to give him multiple double-digit runs to get himself going. He's not a spot guy. He's not a come in, come out kind of guy.
He seems way more like a power back.
Yeah.
Way more like a power back. And you have to let him build steam.
That was my biggest thing that I didn't understand. I know everybody wants to talk about that he only had 7 carries in the second half and all that stuff. My thing is, he had 0 in the first half. I understand we only had the ball once, or the first quarter. I know we only had the ball one time in the first quarter, but he's your starter, right?
Yeah, and we set up like we've said all week. All we want to do is establish the run.
Yeah.
We've said that a lot this offseason. All we want to do is establish the run. That was one thing that didn't seem like
It
we
two
were really
carries
sticking
the
to.
entire first half.
Yeah.
Like, that does not translate to we need to run the ball. We need to run 2 to 3 running backs. We're going to establish the run, this and all those other things. It's like, that is the biggest thing for myself that did not equate from the offseason to game one. But again, I'm not, Satterfield's on the hot seat and blah, blah, all that other.
No, that's
Low
stupid as
footage.
fuck. But between Gabe Irvin and Anthony Grant, they had 16 they had 16 carries.
Mhm.
Jeff Sims had 16 carries. He shows 19 because he had 3 sacks.
Yeah.
So I don't like the fact that our quarterback's running it as much as our 2 or 3 tandem
as much as our
tandem
top
running
running
back.
backs.
Yeah. And I realized, like I said, we weren't getting anything open. But Jesus, there were a couple different times that I saw basically we had a running back out there that the way that he was blocking, the way that he was flared out, it kind of looked like it might be an actual called traditional option play. And there was no look to him. That wasn't there, but it got me excited for a hot second. I thought maybe, and I don't understand why they didn't give it to the running backs more. We were not getting any wide receivers open.
No. Well, and that kind of goes.
We weren't going to the tight ends.
That also goes to me asking, do we have any playmakers on the outside?
Yeah.
And guys couldn't get open to save their lives.
Yeah.
I know that there were a couple plays where somebody was open downfield and Sims just missed them. That happens. I mean, I'm not going to completely crush Sims. We've been hearing that with like Adrian Martinez over the last handful of years. Well, this guy was wide open downfield. Every quarterback of all time, great or not great, misses a wide open receiver, whether they don't see him or they overthrow him or whatever else. So that will happen in every single game, ever played. But again, with the running back situation, you've got Sims in the first half had 9 carries for 81 yards, and he had 120 total yards. In the second half, he had 10 carries for 10 yards. Like, they clearly adjusted to make sure. I know that on the broadcast they talked about they're going to need to put a spy on him and contain Sims as much as possible. Well, you know what? If you put a spy on him, then give the running backs the ball.
Yeah.
And they just didn't do that enough.
Yeah. Run some more RPO stuff there too.
Yeah.
That's how you pull that guy up at least. But to go back to it, why aren't we just giving running backs the ball more often anyway? Why do we feel like everything has to be hidden and trick and this and that? Line up, run the fucking ball.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked. The offensive line played well overall.
Yes,
overall,
I agree.
So
They were not getting
Let 'em eat.
they were not getting a great push on design run plays in the first half. But as the game went on, they were moving the pile a little bit. I thought both lines showed they had strength, they had size, and they had stamina to get to the end of the game and move the line. That was a lot of the frustration that I had on. There were 3 or 4 different drives that was like, okay, we're trying to get a little too cute. We're trying to break something open here. Can we just stick to what's working and keep pounding the rock down the field? Because we were able to.
Yeah.
We were doing it. And mistakes happen. Those 3, to address the elephant in the room, the fuckery that was the last 11 seconds, which was originally 6 seconds at the end of the half, it was terrible. Rule said it in his post-game press conference. You wish that he threw the ball out of the back of the end zone, but that's coaching. He's an unfinished product. Like I said, he looks very raw still.
I wish he threw it to Borkacher at the front of the end zone. I don't
There's
care about
that.
I don't care about throwing it out of the end. I understand. To me, the defender made a very good play. He was kind of hiding behind another guy and snuck
What
over
you're supposed to do in the end zone.
where Sims didn't see him. It also helps that he was wearing the same color as the end zone was. So again, he's really hidden in there. He moved over. He snatched the pass. And my thing, though, is even if Borkacher is covered, the easier pass isn't the, touch pass to the end zone or to the corner of the pylon. The easier pass is just zip it right into the tight end in the front of the end zone. That's what I wish he would have done more than anything else. But yeah.
Regardless, though, you can't throw it into super tight coverage like that.
Yeah.
You have to throw it out the back of the end zone and settle for the points.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's sitting here saying, why didn't we just kick the field goal with 11 seconds left?
No.
You're dumb. You don't understand how the
run another play.
You have to. Or you're giving them the ball back with 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I mean, more than likely they're just gonna kneel on it, but that's not the point. You still have to kick off. Who knows? Like maybe they return the kick.
Yeah.
They probably don't run another offensive play, but at least they return the kick.
One person I did earlier when I was pointing people out. One person I forgot to mention. We have to get Ramir Johnson more touches in different places in this game.
Yeah.
He looked electric as shit on that kick return. He looked like the fastest dude on the field. He happened to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that was a house call.
Yeah.
There was one dude left. It was fun to see him back there looking that fast. Because I don't remember him looking that fast anytime we saw him last year, but he also touched the ball, 3 times all season?
That's the thing. Yeah. Like, I think he looked that fast a few years ago when he was playing a lot, but they just didn't give him an opportunity last year.
Yeah.
So who knows? But
let's get into the questions. I feel like I'm actually pretty happy about how things went for me this week.
Actually, I wrote it down on my thing, but I don't remember what your record was. But we can find out. I know you did win the week, but I'm not going to say that it was a stellar.
I won the week for sure
by 1. Relax.
Only 1?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
The first question was Jeff Sims' total yards, 224.5. He had 205. Like I said, he was kind of stymied in the second half with the whole spy stuff. But you took the under. Everybody else took the over, including the fans. So that's one of your wins.
Suck it.
Cool.
I won the first one.
Negative naysayer over here, winning things.
Gabe Irvin rushing yards, 89.5. Clearly, he had the under at 55.
I was way over on that.
So, let's see. I was the only one that took the under. Suck it. Okay. Nebraska third down conversions, 35%. They were at 45.4. You were the only one to take the over. I'm sorry.
I got that one.
Which is why I said you were the only one to take it.
Yeah.
They were 3 of 5 in the first half and 2 of 6 in the second half.
Really weren't that many.
No.
Overall.
No. Total punt returns by yards by Billy Kemp, 29.5. Definitely went under on this one because he had 8 yards.
He at least had a couple of returns.
He had 2 returns.
And they also showed that they do want to return the ball.
Yes. You two, Matt and BJ took the under. Me and the fans took the over. Yards per pass attempt allowed by Nebraska had 8.7. It was 4.5. Again, a lot of dink and dunks, and we tackled really well. I mean, so yeah, they completed a lot of passes, but we were tackling right away so that they wouldn't get yards after catch.
And honestly, they didn't complete a ton. They threw the ball 44 times. We held them just over 50%.
Yeah. Matt and the fans both took the under, so they had that one. The fans did really bad. They had 1 right, I think.
Oh,
woof.
You do better.
Let's see. Nope, I didn't have a note on that one. Number 6, total field goals made by both teams, 3.5. It was 3. I took the under. I mean, I was right on the number of field goals that were gonna be made, but not the score. And Luke Reimer tackles. Everybody had this one wrong. 9.5. He had 5.
I was gonna say nobody even got close.
No.
Mm-mm.
He started off the game
7.
He started off the game right. He had the first 2 tackles of the game.
Yeah.
But after that, he kind of was, not really around much. So, I mean, I'm not saying that as he played bad. It's just
no, they did not play bad at all.
Again, they were cycling through so many players that it was just
they were cycling through, but also there wasn't a lot of getting to the second level.
No,
there wasn't.
I
thought our play against the rush was the most impressive thing for me. There was, I don't even know what the long was for them.
The long play?
The long rush.
Oh.
The longest rush in the game was 11 yards.
Oh, yeah.
When's the last time we had a game where we didn't give up 1 for 20?
Well, and not just that, I was looking at something else, but give me just a second. Just long plays in general for
longest play of the game was 20 yards.
Yeah, for Minnesota. They only had let's see, they had 2 plays of 20 plus yards. They had 9 plays of 10 plus yards.
We had 3 of 25 plus.
Yeah.
Because we had 2 rushes for 26 and 27, and that touchdown catch was for 34.
Yeah. What was I? Oh, The again, talking about cycling through so many guys, the first drive of the game for Minnesota was 9 plays, and we had 7 different guys get a tackle in that drive. Like,
Yeah.
everybody was everywhere. It was a very good performance, and not just cycling through guys, keep guys healthy and not tired. We're gonna need that next week.
Yeah. Some things we were right about in this game. I mean, we talked about how this defense is probably going to give up some yards, but it's hopefully a bend don't break defense. I'd say we were right about the don't break part, but they really didn't bend either.
No.
They had a couple drives on us, but when we needed to, we made a play and we stopped them up. And like I said, we kept everything short and we kept it all right there. The other thing I will say is the biggest improvement from any of the 3 units, I would say, is on special teams.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, our special teams looked super clean.
Mhm.
Yep.
Super clean, the whole thing. I didn't have anything I could complain about. You didn't have, I mean, we only attempted 1 field goal. We only made 1 field goal, but it looked good.
Yeah, we didn't fucking miss it.
It wasn't a clench your butt cheeks, is it going to go in type of a moment, and it shouldn't from 37. But,
Well, and we punted the ball really well. We covered punts really well. We covered
Our
kickoffs really
punt-
well.
that was actually something one of the Minnesota guys, there's an old guy sitting right to my left. He's like, "You guys got a really good punter." It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's nice. We also started our first drive in our own end zone because you guys put it on the half-yard line. That was special teams on both sides, I would say, played really well in this game.
Honestly, outside of the turnovers, this game was pretty even all around.
It was. Now,
Even the time of possession.
what that means as far as are these teams any good?
Who knows?
Yeah, we have no.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We're gonna
because
find
they've
out.
played each other.
But yeah, it was a pretty evenly matched game. It was ugly at times. I would say that that's another thing that we were kind of right on. It was going to be a close game. It was going to be ugly at times.
I didn't expect a whole 3 points for the first half.
I did
I'll be
not.
honest.
Yes.
I hate the fact that I was so right about my original prediction for how the game was going to go.
Yeah, that
That it was
count
gonna
because
be-
you switched it.
That it was going to be ball crushing. Yeah, and I did switch it. And I woke up in Minneapolis and I
I've
was
taking it in the shorts for the.
so, oh my God, it's been shared by so many people.
I know.
And I was so excited and like I just had that feeling. It was different. It felt like, like newness.
So it's your fault. You jinxed it.
And apparently, because I recorded that video out there on the patio at Lions Pub, I might have had a couple drinks in me already, and I was just feeling it. And turns out my original projection trying to say projection and prediction
You're
at
not
the same
drinking it
time.
there?
My original projection was exactly correct.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Outside of that, I don't have anything else. You boys done?
No, the only thing I want to say is everybody that is calling for people to get fired after game 1 can fuck
Shut
off.
the fuck up. Seriously.
Everybody that thinks that we shouldn't have quote unquote ran off Casey Thompson can shut the fuck up. And this is, I equated this to somebody earlier today. Actually, it's my sister. I understand you have feelings about this feels like the same thing over and over again. But it's easy to say that when it's the same thing over and over again in year 3, 4, and 5. This is year 1, game 1. It's a lot like when you first start dating somebody, or your past history. You have a real bad history of dating people, and they're all trash and all those other things. When you start dating somebody, you don't take that bad history onto the new person. So people need to take that into account and not
Rules
take
talked about that.
not take all your bad history feelings. I understand those feelings are easy to come up, especially in gut punches like we experienced on
Especially
Thursday.
with exactly what happened in the
I
last.
get
4 minutes of the
all of it. I'm not trying to say don't feel that way, but be able to process it a little bit better and make a little bit more sense out of what it actually is going on right now.
Act like grown-ups that know about football.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that I would take away from anything that anybody said to us from Minnesota up there was, you guys have great fans. You guys actually know football. You guys they weren't talking about us specifically. They were talking about Nebraska fans in general. We love it when you guys come up here because we don't have any problems with you guys. You guys actually know what football is supposed to look like, blah, 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 blah. They went on and on talking about it, and they were very nice. And all I'm thinking is, I'm glad Jed's not listening to this because he'd just fucking roll his eyes and tell him he's wrong.
I would.
Well, and I think a lot of the fans also are on the same page. I think it's just a few loud ones who.
We have
their-
passionate
Of course.
fans, and people run off at the mouth, especially if they're drunk.
And
It is
again,
what it is.
I understand feeling that way in the moment. I totally get it. I'm not trying to say you can't feel that way. I understand why past stuff does come up into your heart and out your mouth. But just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
This is game 1, year 1. Trust what we're doing. Another thing that my dad said was he was very frustrated with the game and the fact that he bought into the hype of the offseason. He thought the discipline and all this other stuff was going to be changed right away. And I asked him, I said, is that the team's fault that they didn't live up to your hype, or was that your fault for thinking it was going to get changed day one? You know, these guys, yes, they've been hyping us up all off season, but they have said this is going to be a process. So just because you picked and chose what you actually wanted to listen to, if you would have listened to that part as well, that this is going to be a process, you would understand that this is going to be a process. Don't overreact to this game 1. Just relax. We're going to be okay under this leadership.
That specifically, somebody brought up the Ty Robinson thing, and people were trashing that right there. That's a holdover from the Frost era. No, it's not. First of all, shut up. Those things happen.
Yeah.
That's aggressiveness. They're literally talking. What are the 3 things they keep saying over and over and over again about? It's speed.
Husker speed. Hit it.
Husker speed. But the other, they want to play with violence, violence, and what's the other one? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I don't know.
I'm losing it. But yeah, some of those things are going to happen. Those things happen in every game. Georgia has players do that. Alabama has players do that. Sometimes you're in the middle of a moment. You have that aggression. All he was trying to do was get to the quarterback.
Yep.
He made a mistake. He got kicked out of the game. Don't crush him for it, and don't crush the coaches for it. Because
he made a mistake and he's paying for it.
Yeah. Don't crush him for it from a standpoint of, oh, this is just an example of it's more of the same. It's more, they're undisciplined. Being a disciplined team doesn't mean no mistakes ever happen.
Exactly.
Also, I'm going to take that aggression over not any day of the week.
Yeah,
that too.
Because guess what? Previously, he wasn't in the backfield to get that hit.
No.
Yeah. No.
And then we really complained about the lack of pressure. Whatever. I'm on to next week. I hate to sound like your boy. You can hit it, even though he's the only one that's allowed to do Patriot references. I'm Bill Belichick right now. I'm on to next week.
Colorado,
physically and mentally.
What a hot dicking on TCU today.
Yeah.
Well,
not really. It was a close game. But...
That Colorado show on Wednesday night, we've got a special guest, James Hiz, coming on to talk about how he recently became a Colorado Buffaloes fan, all because of primetime.
Bandwagon.
Yeah. Awesome. It's going to be fun. Check it out.
And this may be the most unbelievable night in Cornhusker football history.